that time of year again, folks. It's playoffs. March Madness is here. Welcome into Sports Den. I'm Blythe Whaley alongside Matt Dean. And Matt, our teams are fighting hard to keep their seasons alive, and it's my favorite time of year.
It is. It's Minnesota March Madness, little triple M for you coming up down the pipe. Ted and I told you in Sports Den last week, this is a great week if you are a basketball fan. The Hoop Heads are coming out. We've got a North Metro TV program that are going to be playing for a trip to the state tournament on the girls' side coming up this Thursday. So we're into that section final week for the girls, and then the playoffs for the boys starting for Blaine, Centennial, Spring Lake Park. So we'll preview the postseason that starts this week as well on that side. You come for the basketball, you stay for the swimming and diving, where we've got several Centennial, a little bit of Blaine athletes that'll be competing in the state tournament in both swimming and diving coming up this weekend too. So we got a lot to catch you up to get ready for that state tournament coming up in Minneapolis as well, Blythe.
True. Well, let's get after it. Starting out with ladies hoops, let's head to the courts. The stage set for quarterfinal action. The number 6 Park Center Pirates hit the road to take on the number 3 Spring Lake Park Panthers. Wasting no time to get into harmony, Mayberry stepping up to drill that 3 silky smooth. Mayberry gives it up to Ojeki. Finding out the bank stayed open late, an 8-0 start for Park Center. But hold on, the Panthers not backing down. Smolich swooshing in a 3 Panthers, back 10-9. But hold on. This is Lyric Singleton. She is going to be a main storyline tonight. Pulls up from the left wing with the silencer. And again, top of the 3, bang. Count it. Despite that foul underneath being called, the lead balloons to 10. Panthers looking for a spark. Kendall Cruz going all the way, getting the foul and heading to the line. But Singleton in another zone, letting it fly, splashing it through. She had 24 of her 27 points in the first half, this time giving it up to Demi Holdman. The future looks bright with the 8th grader putting down the 3. That halftime score was 42-19, but the second half, Demi Holdman continued. You saw her swirl in the 3. The Panthers not ready to fold as Jalen Bursey-Dixon found a 3 of her own. But the Pirates having an answer every time. Demi Holdman put in another.
First half performance, 24 of those points were in the first half. Can you talk about what it was like feeling that offensive flow right away?
So it was my first game back, and I just, wanted to get my get back. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's all.
And you got injured that time when you were playing the Panthers just a few games ago. What was it like to get back on the court and maybe seek some of that revenge?
It felt really good. I was itching to get back on the court so bad. So having this type of show.
What is it about this matchup that gets you able to soar these buckets in?
They guard me really tight, especially this team. They have really good defense, so it just drives me to try to get open and call for screens and, do my thing, shoot threes and stuff.
Yeah. And what was it about the second half that was different? Of course, you saw some of your teammates not able to find the hoop as well as they did in that first half. What were the Panthers doing to you, and also what was happening within your team that ended in that result?
Yeah, they were pressuring us pretty well, and we had to kind of adjust and figure out how to get all of us the ball and just run our offense, run the timeout, and succeed our win and go home.
Yeah.
As we take a look at the brackets, as we just saw Park Center advancing, taking on Irondale, you're seeing those bottom bracket busters, those underdogs finding their way into the semis. But Park Center able to have the Cinderella story, making it all the way to the finals to take on the 1 Maple Grove. That's going to be a fun matchup as you've seen them just live up to expectations.
Yeah, look at that 33-36 rock fight for the 7 seed to upset the 2. It is a wide open field in 5-4A once you get past the number 1 ranked team in the state in Maple Grove. So Park Center, this magic run, the 6 seed all the way to the final, that would be an upset of all upsets in girls basketball if they can knock off Jordan Odie and that Michigan State commit who leads that Maple Grove team. They've played once this year. It didn't go Park Center's way, 88-46, and they matched up pretty recently back on January the 28th. So we'll go to the other bracket of note on North Metro TV. 7-4A on Wednesday night, section quarterfinals. The 4-seed Blaine hosting the 5 Andover. That's the Bengals hosting despite going 0-2 against the Huskies in the regular season. Caton and Wozniak with the steal. Marley Jansen in the bucket. 2 seniors for Blaine trying to extend their seasons. Mila Evers, it might say post next to her name on the roster, but the Husky can step out and shoot. Early 5-2 lead for Andover. And the threes were falling for the Huskies in the early proceedings. Ava Shaw from straight on. Bengals with their pressure. Holly tipped it loose. Rikuski with the steal. Wozniak another bucket. That's easy money. Blaine back within 4. Are we allowed to have favorite players? I'm a big fan of junior Noddy Berry. Old school on the block. The flop doesn't sell, and it's a 4-point game. Brianna Cummings with a 3-pointer here. Tied it at 14 all. 10 minutes to go in the first, and then that's her spot. Agent Shaw from straight on, another 3-pointer, and the Huskies retook the lead. More great 3-point shooting. Annie Olson with the latest from downtown. The largest lead for Andover the game so far at 5. Olson with the hezzy inside here made it an 11-point lead for Andover. They were up by double digits for the first time. And then Marley Jansen, a much-needed 3 for the Bengals. It cut it to a 9-point lead at halftime. The Bengals' Mara Holly with a smooth release from the corner here. She gets the shooter's roll, and Holly putting together a game, and the Bengals back in it. Mila Evers at 6'2", a tough matchup for Blaine inside. Double team help is late. Evers feasting down low. She'd finished with 19. And on the other end, Cummings with a smooth release. She didn't move after the shot came out of her hand. If she's confident, I'm confident. And then Marley Jansen, legally allowed to open a savings account. The bank's open. Bengals still by 6 as these conference rivals traded buckets. 2-point game. Annie Olson with a big 3 there, put the Huskies up 1. Blaine with a response. Mara Holly doesn't want her senior year to end. 6 seconds left in a tie game. Broken possession. Ellie Fields for Andover hits, and we're headed to overtime here in Blaine, Minnesota. A slow start to the extra period. 2 buckets in 4 minutes, but Evers, ice. It caps a 19-point game. Fields, who hit the game-tying shot, hit the free throws down the stretch, and it's Andover to the OT win. So Andover with their 3rd consecutive victory over Blaine this season, and the stars shining for the Huskies. They get 39 combined from junior Mila Evers, who had 19. And how about freshman Logan Miller with 20? So a junior and a freshman. Andover's good this year, and it seems like they're not going away next year with a lot of returning talent. Blaine, a senior-laden team. What a terrific effort from Mara Holly. A career-high 28 points in her final game as a Bengal. 6 3-pointers. She's a talented 5'10" post who can step out and shoot it from 3. Most of her junior year, Blythe. Last year she lost it to an ACL tear. So I think maybe the colleges are a little late at noticing her, but I think if Holly wants, she could continue her basketball career at the next level somewhere.
Yeah, you always love when she gets to finish like that and prove herself in that final game. But more basketball playoffs continuing for section final action.
Yeah, we'll take you to the section quarterfinals of the other one in 7. The 2-seed Centennial taking on the 7-seed Duluth East. First meeting of the season between the Cougars and the Greyhounds. Centennial in red in this one. Maggie Wineset hounding for the net. Tough floater over Kate Lee Falls to get Duluth East on the board. Cougar junior Amelia Del Medico steals Vaida Davidson's lunch money. Aggressive Italian hand gestures after Del Medico bucket made it 4-2. Senior Noah Fuller can fill it up for East. A 3-point response there for the Greyhounds. And then how about Autumn McCall, a beast in the paint, and the future Tommy shows she can hit it from downtown as well. We have liftoff. A 3-pointer for McCall. She can do it all. Dishing there to Abby Matthews. How about the 2 tallest players on the floor? The first down the floor for Centennial. Matthews with the finish. With a name like Pullman, you better be able to pull up and shoot. Senior for straight on for 3 for Centennial. Wineset looks here, looks there. I'll take it myself. Nice shot off the back foot to get it over McCall. And it goes for Duluth East. It was 18-16 Cougars. 7.5 minutes to go in the first. East get a tough one in the paint. Abby Schomer ties it up at 18 all. And then the Cougars' height advantage comes to the forefront. Del Medico cleaning glass and 1. She's headed to the line. Del Medico is scrapping in this one, but Duluth East Ruby Zubich came up with a loose ball and throws it through. Del Medico's fingertips continuing in this game. Off the baseline to Pullman. You know the rest. That broke a 20-all tie. Centennial led 29-23 at the break. Leaving the call open, are you sure about that? She hits that wide open from straight on. Future D1 commit. The Cougars opened up a 9-point lead. Sydney Schmitz made it double digits with this trifecta. 15 minutes to play. Zone look from East. You can pass through it or shoot over it. Schmitz chooses the latter and hits another. Kate Lee, known for work on the defensive end, she'd get in on the three-point party. Cougars led it 48-27, less than 10 to go. Duluth East not done though. Fuller would hit it from downtown. So a new game plan, pass it to the Italians. The great Mike Ditka said that in Kicking and Screaming. Great movie. And to think he was talking about Del Medico in that one, a dagger three, Cougars win to go to the section final.
The semifinal action continues. Anoka High School. The 2-seed Centennial Cougars battling the 3 Forest Lake Rangers. The sharpshooter Kendall Damon rattles in the triple, getting things started. Rangers up 5-3. But Centennial responding in a flash. Schmitz with the drive and dish till Del Medico putting down the left wing triple. But Del Medico not done yet. She proved it from the left. She'll prove it from the right, putting down her third triple of the game. Cougars extend the lead 20-14, but the Rangers, they are staying composed as you see them feeding Sibenar. And this one continues. Schmitz, Del Medico to Kate Lee, putting them back within 6. Tied 23, McCall finding a way to claim the lead again for the Cougars. McCall will do it again from downtown to head to the locker room. 33-27 at the half. In the second half, Forest Lake down by a dozen, but Kendall Damon with a strong take. The hoop, the harm, the Rangers clawing back into single digits. Here come the Rangers looking for that comeback, splashing in some more. But Autumn McCall able to find her up and over. She misses the first, but there for the putback, taking the contact to head to the line. This Cougar team has it all. Finding Schmitz here from deep, putting down another one. That's a 3 of her 18 points on the night. Centennial moving the ball like a hot potato. Ended up finding Del Medico for another bullseye. She finishes the night with 12. Cougars up by 10. Forest Lake not done yet. Annie Buff burying a 3. But within 2, not for long. McCall serving up Lee behind the arc. Got the bounce. And that does it. 67-59 final. Taking a look at some of those impressive scores. Autumn McCall hitting 27 on the evening. Del Medico hitting 12. She has 15 for her game high, so she got quite close to that. Schmitz with 18, just a lot of impressive players. But Damon, you can't not talk about her having a really good night as well. 23 points, just not enough to mount the comeback there at the end.
Yeah, I think when you look at this box score, I mean, Autumn McCall, 27 points. That's ho-hum for her. She's 19 a game scorer. I mean, Schmitz is going to get her points. She averages about 12.5, but when you see, I think Ted LaRue said it, he's behind the camera tonight. He was with me on SportsDen last week. You start getting Del Medico going, you get a third score. That's what's been big for Centennial. And Del Medico with a couple of games in double figures in these playoffs. That really feels like it makes Centennial a much scarier team. And getting back to the top once again, the section final. Death, Taxes, and the Cougars, they're always in the section final in girls basketball. They snapped a streak of 5 straight section titles when they bowed out in the semis last year. So they've now played in 6 of the last 7 section finals. It's all chalk through this tournament, heading up to Thursday's section final outside of that one overtime win you had. And again, I think Andover should have been the 4 seed. That was their 3rd win over Blaine. So all chalk otherwise, and it comes down to that big section final Thursday night at Anoka High School. The Tornadoes won 53-49 when they hosted the Cougars in Anoka in the lone regular season meeting earlier this year. They've got some good players. Senior Madeline Frecking is a St. Thomas softball commit, just a good athlete. And then junior Deborah Ayeni. They both had 20 apiece in the last matchup, so keeping those two down. And then can you keep that third scoring option going? Amelia Del Medico, she looks like she's the hot hand right now for Centennial outside of the usual big guns that we always talk about in Schmitz and McCall. All right, so let's take it over to the boys hoops side, where on Thursday we had the regular season finale, Centennial on the road at Spring Lake Park. It's a rematch of a 66-65 Panther win last go-around in Circle Pines. The visiting Cougars out to a 9-2 run to open the game after that Jacob Hosfield triple. Nolan Myron, long, athletic, good junior. So tough to stop in the open floor. The Panthers' leading scorer with an and-one play there. Myron this time in the half-court offense pulls up over Binder and hits. Such a tough matchup. Too tall for guards, too shifty for bigs. Sawyer Thompson, another Panther you've got to ID on the perimeter. Shooter, and it's a one-point game. Speaking of shooters, if you're a Panther fan, you don't want to see this guy get hot. Jackson Dreesen, the wheels, Greason for Centennial. Dreesen extending the range deep off the right wing, splash, a double-digit lead for the Cougars. But before the half was through, I want to fly like an eagle to the sea, or at least from three-point range. Jason Eagle cuts it back to 8. And the Panthers, nice action off the screen here to get Colin Welch open for the triple. And just like that, the Panthers back within 5 before the break. I love Marshawn Carlton. Look at that pass. He gets it to Binder. It was 39-32 Cougars at the half. Dreesen, you got to Velcro yourself to this guy. He gets loose and drills another 3. Call him KWB. All he does is play the hits. Another one from Dreesen. 4th of the game from downtown. He started treating this game like an NBA Jam game. He's heating up. He's on fire. 5th triple, 7th game of 30 or more for Dreesen this year. A late Myron 3 only changed the final score, 59-46.
My outside shot. I mean, I was getting to the rack a little bit, getting fouled, but yeah, I was killing it on the perimeter, and so that's what I stayed with. Kept doing that.
You guys came back, nearly won it at home against Spring Lake Park a couple weeks ago. What was different in this game?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I think we brought it defensively right away. You know, last time we let them get going way too early. We let number 22, take control of us early. So, we came out with a different game plan. We were hedging every screen on him, stopping him a little bit. And yeah, I think what's different is we brought it defensively right away.
Early, what was your approach coming into this game?
Get inside, trust my teammates. Believe in the game plan that the coaches give for us. And yeah.
What does it say about the character of this team that you guys could battle back, finish at 500? You've won 3 straight, a lot of momentum going into the playoffs.
It says a lot about our character. I think our coaches, instill that every day in practice. Hard work, determination, stay the course.
As we take a look at the brackets, getting to see our teams there on the bottom. Centennial going to be taking on Forest Lake in the 3-6 matchup. Blaine taking on Duluth East in the 2-7. But of course, you can't not talk about Anoka there at the top, being the 1 taking on Cambridge Isanti and Andover Coon Rapids. Some fun matchups in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, Blythe, I don't want to toot my own horn, but if you watched Sports Den last week, I exactly predicted this bracket to tell you what the seedings were going to be. That 2 seed Blaine, they're 15-11 this year, 88-63 win at Duluth East. Earlier in the season, they'll be looking to repeat with similar results. They were 8-3 against the section this year, so you wonder, a team just a little bit over 500, how are they a 2 seed? Well, it's been a pretty open section. Really, for the last few years, a team out of the section hasn't won at the state tournament in at least a decade, but it makes for a fun playoff atmosphere to see who will get to state. Centennial are 13-13. They beat Forest Lake 71-57 back earlier this season. And Anoka, as you said, they're the favorites, 20-6. They've gone 8-0 against the section, but as Ted LaRue pointed out last week, really tight game decided by 6 points when they played the Bengals on January the 24th earlier this year at Anoka. And we're, of course, rooting for a section semifinal cat clash between Blaine and Centennial. Those two teams split a pair of meetings in the regular season. In 5-4A, that's where our Spring Lake Park Panthers reside. They're the 5 seed, 11-15 their record this season, 2-5 against the section. They're going to be trying to flip a 52-64 loss at home to the Mustangs from earlier this season on February 10th. For me, when I look at Spring Lake Park, rebounding is key. The Panthers have a lot of length. They don't necessarily have a lot of girth. A lot of skinny guys that are really good, talented scorers. That's outside of Jason Eagle, the big football player who can bang down low. Mounds View have got some size, 19-7, so can handle them. And then Champlain Park, a great story this year. They had an impact transfer, Tyler Wagner, a kid who played for Totino Grace the last few years. He played his youth basketball at Champlain, and he's back at Champlain Park, and the Rebels are rolling this year. So a lot of fun storylines like that when we're talking about high school basketball in the Twin Cities, and a lot of negative press about transfers. So I like to talk about that. Seems like a good transfer that people are behind, where a guy's coming back to his public school. So basketball's fun. March Madness, as we send the big thing at the top of the show, Blythe, but we've also got swimming and diving, where we got another state tournament coming up later this week.
True. We got to take a look at what happened in the pool here this past week. As we get to see the 5-2A dive championship, this is David Mueller. The SLP diver got 9th in their matchup. And what happens is you get to see them have some good performances throughout. We picked the best dives that they had to bring you, and Carter Nicholson getting 13th for SLP. When they step up to that end of the board, you see just how composed they are. But in 7-2A, the diving championships, see Blake Thorson getting 7th here for Centennial. A big name as we talk about. He had a great day until that last dive of his was a failed dive. But Jonathan Kambata getting 9th. He is a junior here for Blaine, 265.55. Just such great entries from him. Owen Scott getting 10th here for Blaine, the senior in his senior season, 261.35. And Austin Barang, the senior for Centennial, 232.10. And Elijah Manthe, the freshman, 256.55. Who was able to win overall here in diving, Damonson Livermore, finished in first and 416.45. So that was a big victory for him. But as we take a look at our teams, you're seeing that David Mueller was able to finish in 9th at 261.80 and 13th. Carter Nicholson, 187.15. But a lot of awesome performances for both of the sections that included our teams. But Matt, there was a lot that happened in the pool as well.
Yeah, that's at Northdale Middle School in Coon Rapids, the home spot for both Coon Rapids High School and Blaine. We also had 7AA swimming results going down at that same venue. We'll start in the 200 free. Remember, top 2 spots, automatic qualifiers for state. How about Benno Schubauer? He would start off a big day with a win there. And Brendan Cretin, the sophomore, also swam in the finals for Centennial, but Schubauer going to state. In the 200 IM, Caleb Cregan, a senior for Centennial, came up just shy of going to state, placing 3rd in that event. Joseph Murray, a Cougar senior, would place 3rd as well too in the 50 free and come up just shy of state. In the 100 butterfly, 2 Duluth East Greyhounds punched tickets to state in that event, led by senior Pete Safner. And then Grant Page, a Centennial sophomore, finished 3rd yet again, just on the podium. In the 100 free, Duluth East, Joey Zellen set a pool record with a 45.53. Lucas Warren, Duluth East, and Frankie Ivanoka went. Nolan Peterson and Isaac Wynn each swam in the finals and were inside the top 10. In the 500 free, Jackson Ling, a senior for Coon Rapids, finished 1st with a time just over 5 minutes. Raymond Mackey, an Andover junior, qualified for state in 2nd, less than 5 seconds off was Blaine freshman Jared Magnuson. The future's bright for him, just shy of state. In the 200 free relay, the Blaine relay team would place 4th, and the relay team of Shepard, Salata, Page, and Murray going to state for Centennial as section runner-ups in the 200 free relay. Congratulations to those 4 Cougars. On to the 100-yard backstroke, a tight race. How about 0.03 of a second to decide this one? The top 3 guys were all within 0.08 of a second. Centennial sophomore Benno Schubauer got the win. That's Caleb Cregan, who finished 4th, but he had a cut time to make the state tournament. They were flying 4 guys under 55 seconds in that event. In the 100 breaststroke, 2 Duluth East qualifiers. Shout out to Blaine senior Nolan Peterson, who made the final. So 6 Cougars end up going to state out of all that in 4 different qualifying spots. That's down in the Section 7 AA results. You see where our Panthers placed in 5 AA with nobody going to state out of that group. But what a day for Centennial sophomore Benno Schubauer. A win in the 200 free, a win in the 100 backstroke. He'll be competing this weekend at the Gene K. Freeman Aquatic Center in both of those categories. Caleb Cregan, he qualified for state in the 100 back, and then that 200 free relay team for Centennial, Shepard, Salata, Page, Murray. Those guys all going to state. So 6 Cougars across 4 different events. And Centennial will be well represented at the University of Minnesota campus coming up this weekend. We're talking about, March Madness, state tournament week. Another chapter in that's coming up at the pool this weekend, as well as, the boys hockey tournament that gets all the deserved attention that we've got coming up at the X this week.
Oh, yeah. So it's fun to already think about all the playoff action that's happened, but still so much to come. But not even just the playoffs, Matt. What else has been going on?
Well, we got big section basketball games coming up, right? Wednesday, we'll start with boys hoops. I will be there. We'll have a tape-delayed broadcast of that matchup between Blaine and Duluth East. The Bengals excited about the postseason as the 2 seed. And QCTV is going to be covering the section final on Thursday. Anoka hosting in that one, but again, should be a really good one. Centennial, they want to lift the crown again. They have been kings of that section for so long, so that'll be fun to see how the Cougars do as they're on the verge of another state tournament. That'll just about do it for our show. That's Blythe Whaley. I'm Matt Dean. Thanks to our great crew led by Ted Baru, Tim Shingen, and Rand Thill. We're signing out here from our studio in Blaine, Minnesota. We'll talk to you next week to talk more high school basketball with the state tournament coming down the line here on Sports Day.